Jones the block at the left tackle. The muscular tight end Washington running left shot, bulldozing, plowing.
2-point try, lob it up there. It is caught. It is Darnell Washington, the tight end.
You might have thought before this video that Darnell is just a blocking tight end, a tight end 2, a Mercedes Lewis type, great blocker, but struggles in the receiving game. That is nothing but false. When you talk about Darnell, we'll talk about the run after catch ability later, the blocking along with it, which is his true superpowers. That's not even touching the receiving ability, which is untapped. Sure, he can have a few drops, he's not natural as a receiver, as you would expect the Kelseys, the Kittles, but he can catch the ball for sure. He has huge oven mitt, 11-inch hands, almost like gloves, oven mitts, which he can use to just snatch the ball. He can catch it over defenders. Defenders can't reach him, and obviously there's some inconsistencies. He's a bit big, so hard for him to move, as you see with these two examples. A bit big, but untapped potential for Darnell.
Do that, they drop out into zone. Oh my gosh, they let him over the top. Gainwell, Washington a block and a...
Darnell Washington is the best blocker in the league. I don't think anyone will contest that, will they? I mean, almost like an offensive tackle, you might as well just put him there. I think there are rumors that they were going to put him there for some reason, but when you talk about run blocking, pass blocking, maybe in the beginning of his career there were issues with his leverage in the run game, but that has fixed up to the point where he's by far the best blocking tight end in the league. 34 and 3/8-inch arms can really just help some pass protection along with his play strength in the run game. He is just elite as a blocker. When you talk about lead blocking in the run game, just can get out in space like Penei Sewell, like these guys, and can really just wreak havoc in the open field. When you look at those 34-inch arms, it looks like an offensive tackle out there getting out in space and getting rid of people in the run game. It's excellent to see from Darnell, and I really enjoy watching him play tight end because it's a joy. When you talk about just lead blocking, especially just able to eliminate guys, I've never seen a blocker from tight end like this. He's dominant, reaches the second level, can punish a linebacker and safety when he runs at you with the ball or without the ball. Good luck. And we talked about it from the Y alignment. Obviously, he had a bit of stuff to clean up in the beginning of his year. You know, he could lock his knees a little when he was engaged. He was a beat slow to the assignment. Had a bit of technique issues earlier on in his career, but that was fixed. Fixed in this past season where he showed just the full potential of his blocking. People compare him to Mercedes Lewis. I don't agree with that comparison, but as a blocker, maybe you can put that comparison on Darnell because he is that good of a blocker, the best blocking tight end in the league. I don't know who else gets close to Darnell, but it's a tremendous gift he has. And when you talk about guarding DNs, linebackers, safeties, it's just easy for him, and it's a great ability.
Under center this week, even less, just a brace on it.
And he and that brace able to find big Darnell Washington, who just will not go down.
Here it's really where it gets good for Darnell. As you see, his yards after catch, second most among all tight ends with 7.4, and you can see it just in the open space. He is a freight train, impossible to tackle, almost like if you ask Marshawn Lynch to play tight end after the catch, that's what it is. Impossible to tackle. One thing where it hurts him is he's a bit tall, so defenders can just wrap up his feet and tackle him because that's the only way you're getting him down. He is impossible to bring down, and when you talk about it, you think Deebo Samuel as well, which is one of my comps for him. Deebo Samuel at tight end, along with DK Metcalf at tight end. When you talk about just the elite run under catch ability, it's almost unfair how good he is at that. It's crazy. He had 4.64 40. His weight gained has clearly not affected him that much. I think he should drop down a few pounds. We'll discuss that later, but his rack ability is just crazy. When you talk about trucking, stiff arming, the full package of the Deebo Samuel we talk about, just a bowling ball down the field, can hurdle people, can stiff arm, can truck you. It's crazy how good he is after the catch, and he should be used more as a weapon because I think he's the best, or one of the best runner to catch players in the league. And he showed that in Pittsburgh, and he'll keep showing that in the future. And I think it's combining with the blocking, and it's just scary, very scary.
He throws, and that's hauled in by the big man Washington. That didn't take long.
So concluding, as you see, the main comparison is Debo. I think he's the most unique player in the league, especially on offense. The best rack tight end in the league, the best blocking tight end in the league. And you combine that, you don't even discuss the touch. You're not even discussing the untapped potential as a receiver. It's almost like a Gronk. Not quite as good as Gronk, but maybe Gronk without the catching ability. I mean, this is what you get. Just a crazy player. The sky's the limit. Imagine if he improves as a receiver. I mean, he's gonna be so good, and hopefully he gets unleashed, because they seem to see him in Pittsburgh that they hear all the nonsense that he's a blocking tight end and all that rubbish. It's just nonsense. He is an elite tight end at this point, I feel, in my opinion. And just watching him in Devo, it's so similar, isn't it? So similar. And so appreciate you guys for watching. Hopefully this is woken you up for the potential of Darnell. Next there'll be a video of his story, which I felt was very touching. So hopefully you guys will enjoy the video that plays after this. But thank you guys so much for watching this one. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you like it, please let me know in the comments if you like this film breakdown. Thank you guys.
Darnell Washington is 6'7", 311 pounds, and lived in foster homes until he was in the 3rd grade. His dad left his 8 kids one day suddenly when Darnell was very little. Darnell was asleep at the time, and when he woke up, he was in a strange house surrounded by children he'd never met before. From there, he estimates that he and his brother Ezekiel bounced around to at least 7 different foster homes. It wasn't until he was in the 3rd grade and Ezekiel was in the 4th that they finally moved in with their mom. But things didn't get any easier. Because of their mom's criminal history, it was difficult for her to keep housing and find stable jobs. They were evicted constantly, and the brothers moved from one school to another. After a while, Darnell saw no point making new friends. They'd just leave them soon anyway. He said, "I just kept to myself. Me and my brother. I really didn't let no one in." Then their mom got into a car accident that moved her to a rehab facility for 4 months. The boys were on their own again, living in a dodgy area, where their mom says babies often turned up in dumpsters. They never missed school in her absence, but they missed many meals. They lived off leftovers from their classmates' lunches, and frequently went to practices with empty stomachs. To this day, Darnell says he has to be reminded to eat because his body's so used to practicing on nothing. During this time, his brother took care of him. Instead of walking to school, he'd have them run for extra training. And he'd teach Darnell footwork he learned on YouTube. He always did the right thing, Darnell said. So I always wanted to do the same thing. When their mom came back, she started selling her pain management medication to make ends meet. But soon they were evicted again and moved into a U-Haul in a Walmart parking lot, where they survived without air conditioning in the sweltering Vegas heat. But then Darnell started at a new high school, and his new coach noticed what was happening and became a lifeline for the family. Not only did he get Darnell to transition to tight end from wide receiver, but he also got donations from people in town to get the boys the basic necessities, sometimes paid their rent himself, and on occasion even opened his own doors to them. If he didn't do that, Darnell says, we'd be back on the streets. Coach Hill still calls him son in text messages. But all the trauma and hardship had made Darnell angry, which would lead to blow-ups in practices. He had an attitude problem, Coach Hill says. So he constantly reminded Darnell of what could happen if he went down the wrong path. Darnell never wanted to go back to living the way he once had, so he put in the work to stay on track. And his naturally goofy, warm personality started to shine. Then his junior year, his girlfriend texted to say she was pregnant. He was terrified. He hadn't heard a lot of positive teen pregnancy stories. But he got a job at Kohl's, balanced his football, basketball, and shot put training schedules. And with help from both families, the two got closer and excited about their new child. Before his freshman year at Georgia, they got married. And they had their second daughter while he was still in college, and their third once he made it to the NFL. He says, "I just want to be the father that I never had." He's still close with his brother Ezekiel, and when he scored his first NFL touchdown, he saluted in honor of his brother, who's now a Marine. And Darnell's determined to play in the league for as long as he possibly can. He says, "Football was always my dream. It might have been on an empty stomach. I might not have had the proper equipment. I always made it work. I always went to football practice. I never let anything stop me. That remains true both on and off the field. Check the caption for more interesting facts about Darnell, and let me know in the comments which athlete I should cover next.